And so if you can actually trust someone enough, and again, remember, ultimately trust yourself enough to connect to your greatest truth, your deepest truth, and come from love and feel safe to say, that is a beautiful demonstration of trust, to be able to love someone enough. More importantly, love yourself enough to be able to be really honest with your feelings. And again, what could possibly be more intimate than to let that be truly known, coming from love, even and especially in a place of fear or vulnerability. And sometimes the fear is not even of losing something, but just of being seen.
Right.
Yeah. It's, you see how they are. Yeah. So for me, the most robustly, fullest expression we can have as divine in form is to be fully open and free flowing and in balance and harmony with all these energies and qualities of being that exist within us, and to be the most authentic version of ourselves as we possibly can. And in the balance of that, to connect to the truth, come from love, feel safe to say, and to be willing to share and to see and love and be vulnerable. And by the way, you know what? Here we are at the third eye. Because remember how when we were talking about yoga, it seems like a long time ago, we were talking about yoga, we were talking about doing postures, doing yoga, as like a stretch class in a hot room, an exercise class. And, I was just laughing, saying to you, there's, body is a learning device for the mind, but there's way more to yoga and doing yoga and taking a class than just doing postures. So remember, I said to you that when you're looking, when you're practicing in a class that has a mirror in it, you're looking directly into your own eyes so that you can learn to see yourself and love yourself exactly as you are. And by doing so, you can love others exactly as they are. You can see the truth of who they are in their highest form, not what they would have you believe, that they're unworthy, that they're unlovable. These things are not true. As an aspect of the creator, you are perfect and you are lovable by virtue of your divine birthright, and you have nothing to prove. You don't need to convince anyone, much less yourself, of your inherent divinity, which is, again, pure love. So yeah, to be seated here is to see the truth of who is to be the truth of who you are, and see others as the truth of who they are, even and especially when they can't see it for themselves. To not hold them in a place of judgment, to not give with an expectation of return, to not project expectation. Oh, and by the way, something really interesting is that when you're seated in that third eye, mind's eye, sixth chakra, Christed self-consciousness, you're in your most present state. There's a direct correlation. Wow, all the bells are going off right now. There's a direct correlation with your sixth chakra being open and your ability to be fully present. I call it pure time. And by the way, not only to be in pure time, pure present moment, but for every aspect of your being to be in pure time, present moment. So you're not running a second track in the back of your mind of being elsewhere, doing other than right here. I am right here, right now. I am right here, right now with all of my senses. I am right here, right now with all of my presence. And I am right here, right now with all of my awareness. And by the way, without the personality self, the thought identification, the projection, they say, yeah, we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. Without the projection of personification, without expectation, without judgment. Right here, right now, I am the truth of who I am, and I'm seeing you and connecting to you as the truth of who you are. And there can be no judgment in that space of love. Field of trust with no judgment is what I called it to you last week when we were talking about how to serve. So when you're in this shared space as your highest self, in however you want to call it, you're in service. Period. You're in service to human.
From this space, I mean, something also happens when you go to these higher chakras. It's less about oneself, and it's more about sharing higher and higher levels.
Okay. So when you said it's less about oneself, I went ding, 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 root chakra, connectedness, not only to the planet, but to all living beings that share the space with you. The interconnectedness of all things. I am you, right? And we've talked about I am you, we are one. We've talked about that like in many different ways now. We talked about it as yoga is union. We've talked about that probably in every conversation that we've had. And so here it comes again in a different form. But now we're talking about the root is open, and the second chakra is open, the solar plexus is open, the heart is open, the throat is open. And here we are. And now hear me now, even though I've said this to you before. When I see you as love. And when you see me, you can see me seeing you as love. And when you see me seeing you as love, you can now see yourself as love. And when you can see yourself as love, now you can see me as love.
Yeah.
And everything has to be open all the way through in order for that to happen.